Good morning. Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Thursday, April the 11th. And on Thursdays, we look at the new releases that are in the science fiction and fantasy category. We look at new releases every day of the week, a different genre every day. Uh, Quick announcements. Yes, we do have sprints tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. They'll go for 2.5 hours. I do them every Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. The ones on Saturday go for 5 hours. So bring a good book. We'll work on a project or just relax because we listen to some nice ambiance while we carve time out for ourselves. So today is Thursday, so I have what I can find of new releases in fantasy and science fiction. There's never a whole lot. I do my best to make sure they are the ones that are released this week and not any other time. Let me jump in here. Thought that blue cup was really, really pretty. And I could just hang out there for a while. Ghost Station by S.A. Barnes. A crew must act to survive on an ancient abandoned planet in the latest space horror novel. Space horror novel. Horror. Okay. An abandoned plant. I think they meant planet. A hidden past, a deadly danger. Psychologist Dr. Ophelia Bray has dedicated her life to the study and prevention of Eckhart-Reiser syndrome, ERS, and the most famous case of which resulted in the brutal murders of 29 people. Sounds like Alien. It's personal to her, and when she's assigned to a small exploration crew who recently suffered the tragic death of a colleague, she wants to help. But as they begin to establish residency on an abandoned planet, it becomes clear that the crew is hiding something. Ophelia's crewmates are far more interested in investigating the eerie ancient planet and unraveling the mystery behind the previous colonizers' hasty departure than opening up to her. Well, honey, you're an outsider. That is, until the pilot is discovered gruesomely murdered. Is this Ophelia's worst nightmare starting? A wave of violence and mental deterioration from the ERS? Or is it something even more sinister? Terrified that history will repeat itself, Ophelia and the crew must work together to figure out what's happening. But trust is hard to come by, and the crew isn't the only one keeping secrets. I would be interested if they didn't tag it as horror. The Familiar by Lee Bardugo. Very big name in some circles. In a shabby house on a shabby street. In the new capital of Madrid, Lucia Cotado uses scraps of magic to get through her days of endless toil as a scullion. But when her scheming mistress discovers the lump of a servant cowering in the kitchen is actually hiding a talent for little miracles, she demands Lucia use those gifts to improve the family's social position. What begins as simple amusement for the nobility takes a perilous turn when Lucia garners the notice of Antonio Perez, the disgraced Secretary of Spain's king. Still reeling from the defeat of his armada, the king is desperate for any advantage in the war against England's heretic queen, and Perez will stop at nothing to regain the king's favor. So this looks like it's set during the time of Elizabeth I. Determined to seize this one chance to better her fortunes, Lucia plunges into a world of seers and alchemists, holy men and hucksters, where the lines between magic, science, and fraud are never certain. But as her notoriety grows, so does the danger excuse me, that her Jewish blood will doom her to the Inquisition's wrath. She will have nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. She will have to use every bit of her wit and will to survive, even if that means enlisting the help of Julien Santangel, an embittered immortal familiar whose own secrets could prove deadly for them both. I'm a little intrigued just because of the historicalness of it. A promise of peridot. Sorry, coffee is required. The Sacred Stones, second in the Sacred Stones series by Kate Golden. A prophecy of death, a weapon of hope, a sacrifice of love. Arwen Valendale is sailing for the mysterious kingdom of Citrine after the Battle of Siren's Bay. Still reeling from the loss of her mother and the shock of her newfound powers, Arwen directs all of her pain and rage toward the man who betrayed her, King Cain Ravenwood. But Cain's presence is unavoidable as he leads Arwen and her friends on an expedition to recover the Blade of the Sun, a legendary weapon with the power to kill tyrannical Fey King Lazarus. Their uneasy truce proves difficult to maintain as Arwen battles her unresolved feelings and Cain is willing to become darkness itself to protect her. Arwen knows failure to fulfill the prophecy will seal both of their own fate, both her own fate, as well as the fates of those she loves most. But as Arwen faces creatures, foes, and magic beyond her wildest imaginings, her resolve is tested in ways she never could have foreseen. I guess Dawn is Onyx is the first one. Fog and Fireflies. Well, that doesn't sound good. Fireflies. The cover is scary. This is by T.H. Lennon. First in the Fog and Fireflies books. Series of books. Why do we grow more sacred as we get older? More scared as we get older. That makes more sense. Hundreds of seasons ago, a wizard's war scarred the earth, leaving a malevolent fog blanketing the land and carrying the settlements within it like ships adrift at sea. The phantoms the fog creates are deadly to adults, so children must guard the walls now and care for each other. Ogma watches the fog from the walls of her windmill town. What felt like a game as a child becomes more of a creeping dread with each season she gets older, because we know better. Ogma's town is attacked. Alien caravanners who roam the fog in inhuman forms have come to kidnap the children, and Ogma is lost in the fog. She must find hope, find courage in herself, and find her friends. Now that does sound more like horror to me. Forge of the High Mage, Path to Ascendancy, Book 4 in the novel of the Malazan Empire by Ian C. Esselmont. After decades of warfare, Malazan forces are poised to consolidate the Quantali mainland. Yet it is at this moment that Emperor Kalinved orders a new, some believe foolhardy, campaign, the invasion of Falar that lies far to the north. And to fight on this new front, a ragtag army raised from orphaned units and broken squads has been brought together under Fistdrujek and joined by a similarly motley fleet under the command of the Emperor himself. So the Malazans head north, only to encounter an unlooked-for and most unwelcome threat. Something unspeakable and born of legend has awoken and will destroy all who stand in its way. Most appalled by this is the Empire's untested high mage, Taishran. All too aware of the true nature of this ancient horror, he feels his own inadequacies. When the time comes to confront it, yet confront it he must. Valar itself is far from defenseless. Its priests possess a weapon rumored to be a gift from the sea god Mael, a weapon so terrifying it has not been unleashed for centuries. But two can play at that game, for the Emperor's flagship is also believed to be not entirely of this world. These are turbulent, treacherous, and bloody times for all caught up in the forging of an empire, and so amongst the ice wastes and in the archipelago of Falar, the Malazans must face two seemingly insurmountable tests, each one potentially the origin of their destruction. Dot, 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 dot. Liorn, a Vlad Toltos novel by Stephen Bruce, 17th in series. Another opening, another cataclysm. Vlad Taltos is on the run again, this time from one of the most powerful forces in his world, the Left Hand, who are intent on ending his very lucrative career permanently. He finds a hidey hole in a theater where the players are putting on a show that was banned centuries ago and is trying to be shut down by the house that once literally killed to keep it from being played. Vlad will take on a number of roles to save his own skin and the skins of those he loves, and along the way, he may find a part that was tailor made for him, one that he might not want, but was always his destiny. Mal Goes to War by Edward Ashton. The humans are fighting again. Go figure. As a free AI, Mal finds the war between the modded and augmented Federals and the puritanical humanists about as interesting as a battle between rival anthills. He's not above scouting the battlefield for salvage, though, and when the humanists abruptly cut off access to infospace, he finds himself trapped in the body of a cyborg mercenary and responsible for the safety of the modded girl she died protecting. A dark comedy wrapped in a techno thriller's skin, Mal Goes to War provides a satirical take on war, artificial intelligence, and what it really means to be human. The Book That Broke the World, excuse me, by Mark Lawrence, second in the Library trilogy. Two people living in a world connected by an immense and mysterious library must fight for those they love in the second book, blah, blah, blah. The library spans worlds and times. It touches and joins distant places. It is memory and future. And amid its vastness, ever Eventari both found and lost Lavira Page. Avar has been forced to flee the library, driven before an implacable foe. Lavira, trapped in a ghost world, has to recover the book she wrote, one which is the only true threat to the library's existence if she's to return to her life. While Ever's journey leads him outside into a world he's never seen, Lavira's path might take her deep inside her own writing, where she must wrestle with her stories in order to reclaim the volume in which they were written. The secret war that defines the library has chosen its champions and set them on the board. The time has come when they must fight for what they believe or lose everything. It's a beautiful cover. The Hemlock Queen, Nightshade Crown #2 by Hannah Witten. Lush, romantic, epic fantasy. The glittering and dangerous world of the Sainted King's royal court is upended when Prince Bastian seizes control and a mysterious dark force begins to take over. The corrupt King August is dead. Prince Bastian has seized the throne and raised Lore, a necromancer and former smuggler, to his right-hand side. Together they plan to cut out the rot from the heart of the royal court and help the people of Delaire. But not everyone is happy with the changes. The nobles are sowing dissent. The Carithian Empire is beating down their door, and Lore's old allies are pulling away. Even Prince Bastian has changed. No longer the hopeful, rakish, charismatic man Lore knows and loves. Instead, he becomes reckless, domineering, and cold. And something has been whispering in her ear, a voice, dark and haunting, that's telling her there's more to the story than she knows, and more to her power than she can even imagine. A truth buried deep that could change everything. With Bastion's coronation fast approaching and enemies whispering on all sides, Laura must figure out how to protect herself, her prince, and her country before they all come crumbling down and whatever dark power has been creeping through the catacombs is unleashed. The Other Side of the Mirror by Dana Evan, Mirrored Trilogy. This is the first. What if the fairy tale was always a lie? 7 years after her family's murders, Eva is attacked by a magical creature and abducted to the fairy realm. When a handsome fae saves her, excuse me, Bash reveals that he must bring Eva to her fairy soulmate to stop a world-ending curse with the capital C. She relents, but only for the opportunity to find answers about her parents' death. As their journey progresses, Eva delves into her previously hidden magic and grows steadily closer to Bash. But when she meets her prince, she soon learns that all is not what it seems. While mystery and intrigue surround her, Eva takes it into her own hands to uncover the truth. But what she discovers is beyond her imagination as she unravels the Fae's web of lies. Okay, and only 314 pages. And the last one we have here is Wicked Problems by Max Gladstone, second in the Craft Wars. Gods and lawyers battle for the soul of the world in the action-packed second volume, blah, blah, blah. A deadly force has been unleashed into the world. With apocalypse on the horizon, a girl and a god have joined in order to turn back the coming end. Young, brash, and desperate, they are willing to destroy anything and everything that stands between them and their goals. The structures of the craft are theirs to overturn, with the billions of lives in the balance, and it is all Tara Abernathy's fault. The battle for the world of the craft is heating up. A dead god will rise. A mountain will fall. Ancient fire will be stolen. And while Tara races to stop Dawn's plans, the end draws ever closer, skittering across the stars to swallow the world. The craft wars enter their second stage in Wicked Problems. Oh, don't commercial. All right. Well, that's all we have that I could find that were for sure being released this week. Um, in the fantasy and science fiction. Tomorrow we'll be looking at, tomorrow being Freeform Friday, we'll be looking at whatever else caught our attention that we didn't get to or was in a different, category other than what we've already looked at. But we'll also be looking at more cozy mysteries because there's always a lot of cozy mysteries. I thank you guys very, very much. We do have sprints tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. They'll go for 2.5 hours. And we'll just spend some quiet time to end our day. So hopefully you can show up, bring a friend. We'd love to grow. And be sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, because you never know. I typically start early because lately the traffic goes in my favor, being nicer weather here in Montana. So I hope you have a very good Thursday. Hope you're reading good books. If you're reading a book that you are not enjoying, it's okay to set it aside. It's just not the right time for you and that book to meet and spend time together. It's okay. It's not a reflection of the author or the book or you. Those three things just are not coming together at that moment. So set it down. Pick up something that you do want to read. It's okay. You can always come back to it. It's okay. Let me switch out the banner here. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.